Evening, James. How you doing? Welcome. And that's a hello from Fizz as well. Oh, turn the volume down. There we go. Okay, so had a long day of teaching, so it's a bit of an impromptu living room. Yeah, Fizz. Yeah, that's the name. She's a Lhasa Apso, so she's quite bossy. Okay, so I'm not sure how long tonight's stream's going to be, but I was working on these this morning. Oh yeah, sorry. So you may recall the illustration I did the other day with the Medusa character. I decided to kind of go over it, and now I've got this kind of apparition, some kind of, don't know, Mephistophelian kind of character arriving in the living room. So that was a bit of a rework. I was kind of happier with that. I was really happy with the character, so he worked out really well, and I put a bit of a color wash on him. But I wasn't happy with the Medusa, but I put him in. I thought he looked pretty good. He looks a bit, not necessarily menacing, but he definitely looks a bit strange. I think that's what I was after. So this morning, what I was doing is I was just playing around with these kind of like, portraits. And that's what I'm going to be doing this evening. Not sure how long the stream's going to be. Hopefully you're going to have some fun. And as always, you can ask some questions if you like, as I'm sketching away. And of course, if you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, it changed a lot, didn't it, James? Changed a lot. Yeah, it was a funny one. It kind of sometimes sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Right. So this I've already started sketching this at like 5 in the morning, and I wanted to just explore these other characters as well, sort of sketch these in. Then went off to work, and I've been drawing all day and giving students feedback, and now I'm just chilling. Had a bit of tea, had a cup of tea, and then yeah, I'm gonna get going with it. So let's have a look. Let's see if I can actually see the comments on the phone for the first time, so I might be able to do it that way. Right, so let's start with our first character. So these are all kind of like, I'm thinking with these characters, they're like Victorian academics or inventors or something like that. I don't know. That's the idea that I've got. Again, from that sort of same universe. And because I put the coating on the pages, I'm sticking with my little thing, ink nib thing, as opposed to the larger one. So away we go. I'm not sure if I'll get round to putting any watercolor on these tonight. We'll see how we do for time. The battery is quite low tonight, so we'll see how we get on. I can't even read. Rhett, let me have a look. I can't even read. There's a comment. Let's see the comment. I'm just going to look at my iPad. The old eyesight, you see. Rhett Vernto Tradition. You're from Coventry? No, I'm from. I'm actually from Derbyshire, but I work in Coventry. It's a bit of a journey, 140-mile round trip, so quite a drive. I've been doing that for almost 10 years. George Oshman, whole year old boy. Whole year old boy. Okay, yep, thanks for the comment. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just something I said. James, like and yes, like and thank you, James, thank you. Like and subscribe, folks, for plenty more of this content. I'll do a little just to kind of show you. Oh wow, we've got someone from the United Arab Emirates. I'm sorry, I can't read Arabic, but I will probably do a translate. But thank you so much for that. Oh, I'm not a big, I'm not Rhett VRN. We'll just call you Rhett. I'm not a big football fan, I'm afraid. Yeah, it's always something you get asked. You know, obviously I'm aware of, like, you know, the Rams and all that, whatever, or another unfortunate phrase that they're called. But no, I'm not big into football. You can translate it. You can translate it, can you? Well, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. But yeah, oh, sorry. I was going to show you some. Right. So if you are new here, let me just show you some of the stuff I've been doing in my live streams, which James has very kindly, pointed out about, why you should be liking and subscribing. So it's stuff like this. We've got like a sort of alternate universe, Victorian monsters appearing due to strange, a kind of Nikola Tesla type situation happening where they broke the fabric of reality and all these creatures kind of come in. This is just some other illustrations there. I'll just quickly go through this and I'll go back to the illustration. There's another strange creature there. I'm still not finished on that one. Then we've got Fred Dibner. I think as, I'm not sure, James, if you dubbed him Fred Dibner. We've got Fred Dibner, alternate reality Fred Dibner, who's one of these people who goes around to people's houses and gets rid of unwanted entities and aliens. As a kind of inventor type who's just kind of worked on his new gun to get rid of these interdimensional pests. And let's show you a few more. I can always like go back and show you some more at the end of it. Then we've got these creatures here, sort of Mrs. Miggins. You might get that reference from Blackadder. I guess that's a little bit earlier, isn't it? But it's kind of like a Victorian, don't know, she could be like a nanny, but she's also this kind of weird tentacle creature. And then we've got him as well, kind of ghoulish, I don't know what he is, ghoul, zombie type character. And then we've got this more alien looking. I'm thinking like almost like, they do say that there's like an inner earth. Maybe they're from inner earth or just from another dimension. Who knows? And then we've got, this is kind of what started it really. I really loved this little picture. We've got some more comments here. So, yeah, Lovecraftian Kit Kats, yes, definitely. Kind of unintentional Lovecraft, really. It was kind of, but you can't help but kind of like go into those territories, a bit like with steampunk, isn't it? Rhett, he says, what's this? Oh, wow, well, thank you. Thanks for the translation. I can't speak Arabic, but these are illustrations that I've been doing in these live streams for my channel of alternate universe Ghostbusters, I guess. That's how it started. I'm just trying to read this on the phone. James is saying that was the chap from Bolton, I believe. Can't remember his name. Fred Dibner. Yeah, Fred Dibner. He's unfortunately no longer with us, but he was an amazing guy. He went around, he was like an engineer, I think, originally. Fracture saying Kit Kats, great, isn't it? Oh, thank you, James. Thanks for the endorsement. Kit Kats, cheers, Fracture. Yes, or nice to see you having conversations with each other. And then we've got these as well. These are more like kind of sci-fi, almost like Halo, if you're familiar with Halo. Unintentional again. I just pick things up and then kind of regurgitate them. But this, I thought it was quite a nice little image there. We've got a bit more like Warhammer type characters here. Again, unintentional. And this I really loved. This I was almost going to abandon. And then I left it for ages and then picked up on it. And I got, you know, quite a lot of good feedback from this. Oh, Fred definitely had the cojones, absolutely. They were the size of space operas. Totally fearless. Absolutely fearless Kit Kats. Absolutely. It was brilliant. And, you know, part of a bygone era, really. So, yeah, that was that. It was this kind of girl riding this character. Fracture meant the guy who dubbed your sketch as Fred was also from Bolton. Yes, that's right. He was from Bolton, yeah. Yeah, because he always get like, there used to be like a rivalry between, was it Burnley and Bolton or something or other, but not anymore. I think that's what he said. Medieval man fighting the undead, kind of zombie type characters. And then a cyborg and female kind of like, I don't know, space warrior. And then finally, and then we'll get back to the drawing, we've got this kind of mystical guy wandering the desert. Some kind of mystic wandering the desert, I don't know. And then this cyberpunk guy. So there we are. Anyway, you came to see some drawing. Let's do some drawing. Let's get back to it. So we've got these guys, inventor guys, call them what you will. There we go. So let's get back on it. A few more comments from... You got this mixed up last time. It's Blackbird. Thanks, James. Yeah, it's Kit Kats. He'd have a few whales before... Yeah, that was it. He'd have a few, like, beers. And then I remember one episode where he was climbing up some tower. And it had these, like, steps going up. And he's just climbing up. Like, no ropes, no nothing. And then he stopped to have a bit of snap. He was like, he's talking about it. It's just different. They don't make him like him anymore. Different, as my mate Martin says, different gravy. He has this expression, different gravy. Fred Dibner was different gravy. Right. Let's have a look. I'm just getting into the zone. Kit Kats, you dipping ink? Yes. Yes, it's all being done traditionally. It's, I forget the name of it now. I actually need to get some more. It's called Doctor, not sure if you can see that. It's Dr. P.H. Martin's Black Star. Apparently, it's like the Rolls Royce of inks. Apparently, it's really good for comics, stuff like that. But I am rapidly running out, as I've been doing quite a few of these streams. Thought it'd go amiss if I didn't give him some lamb chops. Kit Kats. I tried hard to do drawing and art, just didn't have an eye for perspectives. Learned guitar instead. Well, that's not a bad, that's not a bad skill to have. Well, you see, I tried to learn guitar years ago and I just didn't have the aptitude, at least when I was at college. Because I think two of my brothers play guitar off and on, or did. And I tried, like big into music growing up. But I just couldn't quite get it. I could play blues. I could kind of play like that kind of, just a few chords, but I didn't have it in me. But it's never too late with the drawing. There are plenty of tutorials online that you can watch, how to kind of learn the skills, perspective, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective. You can even get, apps now where you can sort of, using like augmented reality to, trace over things. So that's a good way as well to try and learn. There are many different ways. So you, what's that? Who's Hilly? So you just tracing? No, we're talking about, maybe you just came in. I'm going over my sketches here, if this is what you're asking. So I'm just going over my drawings that I did, and I'm just inking over the top. But what I was talking about with tracing earlier was Kit Kats, who did start doing some art. But I was just suggesting there are apps that you can use, or just use tracing paper and go over. If you wanted to learn perspective, or drawing, or even drawing, it's a very good way, for students to kind of learn, things like perspective, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective. But this is being drawn in my sketchbook. Kit Kats. I feel what's that? I feel offended. I was in a pub with that exact name last week. Oh, that's you, James. Sorry. You're having a conversation. Sorry, I'm thinking you're asking questions. Start on the next character, I think. Right, so this next character, which one shall I go for? I was going to have a look at this guy. He was kind of like, he's sort of shaping up like some kind of East End bruiser. Can I zoom? Let's see if I can zoom in. A sec. Just so we can get a better view. Something like that. There we go. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. Proper geezer. Yes. Was that something from Guy Ritchie film, or what was it? Was it Sherlock Holmes movie, Guy Ritchie movie? Oh, Little Rick's here. Welcome, Little Rick. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Kit Kats, do I do this professionally or as a hobby? Well, I teach games art at Coventry University, so it involves things like character designs, like in 2D and 3D. But I've said this in previous streams. My background was I used to work in movies, doing similar stuff to this. I worked on. You must have seen the film Kick-Ass. I worked on Kick-Ass. I designed. If you see in the film, Nicolas Cage has got this drawing board where he basically draws all his villains being killed in various ways. I had to kind of do the drawings for that. I had to do the drawings for that, and some bits of concepts. Designed Hit Girls. She's got these weapons, things like that. I did a bit of work on uncredited on X-Men First Class. Alexander was another one, the Oliver Stone film. Oh goodness, I did a Guy Ritchie film. If you've ever seen that film, oh my God, Revolver. I'll lose my marbles. Worked on that. That was great. Couldn't make sense of the film at all. I don't think anyone in the art department could, but it was actually turned out to be a good film. And a bunch of other stuff, commercials, stuff like that. So yeah, I've done it for a living, storyboarding, things like that on commercials. But mainly, it's teaching these days. Fracture 10. How's everyone's? All right, you're just asking how everyone is. Kit Kats. Was a fan of the graphic. Yeah, the graphic novels. Yeah, and the movie was great. The second, I didn't see the second one. I heard about it because I think it's got Jim Carrey in it. I think they're just chasing the money, weren't they? But the first one was it was great, very stressful, but it was great film to work on, and yeah, I was on a bit of a run then. I did this other film called The Exam, which I think that went straight to video, but that was a bit of a success. And I went from that to Kick-Ass, but it was quite grueling, a lot of work. It's crazy hours in the film industry, early starts, late finishes, and yeah, I don't miss it. But very good experience and met some amazing people. Was this James? No way. I was going to mention that before. Revolver is one of my guilty pleasures, even if it does try a bit too hard visually. Yeah, it's quite convoluted. I remember, well, I'm not under any NDA, so I can tell you this. Yeah, no one could really understand the script, and I think, I don't think I know. Guy Ritchie was then going out with Madonna. Well, not going out, he was married to Madonna, and it was quite interesting because I was in a meeting. I was taking some notes, and he referred to her as my wife. It was like, you mean Madonna? But yeah, he's a very interesting guy, Guy Ritchie. Very talented director. But yeah, just because I think it was all that kind of went into all this kind of stuff to do with the Kabbalah and lots of weird, was it esoteric kind of ideas. And there's the whole thing about. I never got to see Ray Liotta. I heard about him, and obviously, God rest his soul, is no longer with us. But I think he just had a facelift or something, and I never got to see him anyway. But he's another amazing actor. Goodfellas again is a all-time favourite film. Again, violent though. Cheers, little Rick. I appreciate it. Kit Kats. It was Hellblazer that got me into graphic novels. Oh yeah, Hellblazer. Yeah, definitely some magic in that art. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, there was in the Kick-Ass novels. I didn't know about the Kick-Ass novels before, and I never met him, but I ended up having to email. Was it John Romita Jr.? The guy who did the artwork, and I remember like I do some sketches which were all right, not dissimilar to this, and of course he then sent his artwork back, and it was like, oh my god, it was just another level. He was absolutely amazing, amazing artist. I'm not bad, but that was he just sort of took what I did and then just completely like revamped it, and that's what he does. He's a comic book artist. Right. Yeah, you definitely wouldn't want to meet this geezer on a dark night. It doesn't look very friendly. How are we doing for time? I'm not doing too bad. Fracture 10. I'll give him a tenner. What's that? And let him keep the change, mate. Little Rick, wow, thank you, matey. It's turned out quite well, isn't it? Looking too bad. Not too shabby, as they say. I didn't think I'd have the juice this evening. I've been teaching all day and drawing all day, but surprise. And then, of course, 2 hours on the M1 in the rain, which is always a bit soul-sucking. I'm stuck in traffic jams, but it's lovely to be here. And to be honest, it's kind of, I think because like having nice comments and things like that, it kind of gives you energy, which is nice. James, have you ever considered moving closer to cut down the driving? 10 years of that is a lot of mileage. It is a lot of mileage. I dread to think how many tens of thousands of miles. I just don't, nothing against Coventry. It's a perfectly nice town. It's just, I'm in I'm in Matlock in Derbyshire, which is probably one of the most, beautiful places, well, for me anyway, in England. And I'm like 5 minutes away from like woodland and waterfalls and all that kind of stuff. That would be very, very difficult to give up. And also, I'm lucky that because of the timetable, it's not literally every day. I'm in a good few days, but there are some saving graces. But yeah, it's a bit of a trek. It is a bit of a trek. But no, in answer to your question, the short answer is no, I'm not moving. I'm not moving. Right, okay. Yeah, it is lovely. I mean, it's become quite. I've got a bit grumpy in my old age because of things like Instagram. We've got like a waterfall, and during the what that happened a few years ago, lots of people flocked down here to see the waterfalls because of you had all these influencers from Instagram. And it's still, the effects of it are still happening today. So you're just seeing loads of people. When I'm walking the dog, you see them just walking around. But it's a place of like, it's stunning beauty. Kit Kats. Are you Scottish? So it's, Scotland. Again, as my friend Martin would say, that's different gravy. I used to go many moons ago. I used to practice a lot of Buddhist meditation, and we used to go to this place just slightly north of Stirling, called, you'll have to forgive the pronunciation, Balquhidder. Not far from Stirling, not far from Loch Lomond, I think, and breathtaking, doesn't do it justice. Absolute, and it was near, the actual retreat was near there's a famous golfer, and he had his like house there right by the loch. And I even went I know you're not supposed to go swimming in the loch, but it was like the summer of 2007. It was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, Scotland's just a different kind of thing altogether, really. Just absolutely beautiful. And I'd love to go back again one day. Excellent, cheers, Rick. Lovely comment. Right, let's have a look at this other character now. Let me see if I can start to get a bit of leg ache. There we go. I think that's positioned okay there. Right, so we're going to be thinking about the other character now. And This guy is, where are we? We're going a bit out of focus. Hold on a second. This guy, I'm not sure if he's looking up in despair or he's daydreaming. I don't know. Let's have a look. Can I position this? It's a bit awkward, but I'm just going to, excuse me folks, I'm just going to see if I can position it. Let me just have a look at my iPad and see if that's framing okay, because I can't really see properly. It's cutting it off a little bit if I move it over that way and then up a little bit. This is awkward. All right, that'll do. I'll see how we get on with that. Okay, so this guy is kind of dreaming. Well, I don't know. He could be dreaming or he could be daydreaming. Let's have a look. Let's see where this one goes, because you never know where it's going to go. And also I'm seeing this at a bit of an angle, so it might come out a little bit stretched. We'll see. It looks like he's looking for answers out of ideas. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, it needs to come over a bit, don't I? Where are we? About there. Right. This is a bit of an awkward angle, so I'm not sure how this one's going to come out. Have a quick look. Oh, it's not too bad. Maybe I could just make it a bit flatter. That's better. We've got another comment there. So, but James, we've got judge, jury, and executioner at the moment. I wonder what character 4 will be. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, judge, jury, and executioner. He's maybe another condemned man. Who knows? Maybe he is the chap standing yeah, exactly. Yeah, and has just learnt of his fate. Yes, looking up, going, Lord, help me. It could be in silent prayer. Excellent. Cheers, little Rick. As I said, it may be I might not get the chance to paint these, but I could probably paint it later on or tomorrow or something. He definitely looks beaten, this guy. He's like, it's the end of the road. It's the end of the road. Kit Kats, in this line of work, what's that? In this line of work, is carpal tunnel or repetitive strain common? I guess it can be. Well, not really. I mean, I've been all right. It can be. When I was working in movies, when you're doing drafting, so I was doing all the set set design. So you're doing like, it's a bit like interior architecture. So you're doing like plans and elevations. And you have these big like AO size drawing boards, and people used to get what we call draftsman's hunch, because you'd be stood, you wouldn't really sit, but you'd be stood. I mean, I never worked long enough to kind of get that. Get that. I was spared that. But I remember speaking to some of the people, because this is at Pinewood Studios, and you're speaking to some people who like worked on the old Carry On films. I remember this one guy, Roger, and he'd been there like for decades and decades. People have been on Bond and all that kind of stuff, whatever. I didn't notice any hunch, but it is like an occupational hazard with it. But I didn't really get anything. You get stressed. That's one of the things. That was the repetitive strain, is high stress, particularly with, I'm not going to name names, but let's say very temperamental and egotistical directors who make things very, very difficult for people. The people who work in movies are generally really lovely, but you get the directors, man, oh, not fun to be around. And like I say, I'm not going to name names. There's one particular one that, yeah, not great. In fact, I think I ended up doing 2 films as well, oddly enough, with that director. So no. Little Rick. Wow, excellent. Thanks, Little Rick. Thanks for your encouragement, Little Rick. That is so cool. Thank you, matey. It means a lot. It means a lot. Having nice comments. Right. What about his hair? This one, I think, will have a bit more hair. Tell me, I'm missing the comments here. Let's have a look. Just 1 second, I can't read down the phone. Let's have a look. Tell me any gaffer that's fun to be around. Gaffer? No, they tend to be all right. Oh no, I'm not even going to tell you that one. There was one gaffer that I knew had a very unfortunate name, but I'm not going to say. Gaffers tend to be all right though. Callum, you are the best. Oh, that's very kind. And I'm saying hi back to you as well, Callum. That's very, very kind. Callum, who you? I guess you're talking to someone else. Little Rick looking good. Fracture. Sorry, it's James. Who am I? Just someone saying hello. All right, there's another conversation going on here. There we are. Well, anyway, nice to see you all getting along. And anyway, meanwhile, let's have a look. Sorry, hand in the way. So I think we're doing good for time. I think by the time I've kind of got this sketched, I think we'll wrap it up. I'm really glad I did this stream after a long day, and it's always, always, always a pleasure seeing you lovely people and having a talk with you. Right. chin. Maybe I'll give him the Kirk Douglas dimple. Kit Kats. I'm laying here with. Oh no, he got shingles. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. And it's definitely taken my mind off the dull burning pain. So thank you, sir. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you got shingles. That doesn't sound like fun at all. But I'm really happy though that this is providing a distraction for you, and I certainly hope you're feeling better very, very soon. That can't be any fun at all. Can you show some, Callum? Can you show some overdrawings? Sorry, overdrawings. Callum, explain a bit more. Overdrawings. Are you talking about just drawings in general, or are you talking? Yeah, to tell me. I mean, I'm drawing over these. Oh, I beg your pardon, other drawings. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, then we'll just have a little. Let's just. We're almost done with this. We are almost done. We've got that character done there. I did this one earlier this morning. I thought I really liked how that came out. We've got the character you've just seen me doing. We've got the Bruiser. Looks a bit. I really liked how that came out. Scary dude. Definitely like something from a Guy Ritchie film. And then this one is just in the middle of being done. So yeah, just to recap then, we've got, shall I just zoom out a little bit? There we go. So we've got this one from the other day, which I didn't manage to ink. This is breaking out from under the cobbles, another creature. And I'm guessing like husband and wife, startled and wondering what to do. This is probably set somewhere in London. That's what I'm always thinking, like London. This is just some random sketches I was doing, no particular theme behind it. And then this strange alien, well, not alien really, it's kind of more like a creature from another dimension. I've not quite finished this one yet. I'm not sure where to take that. And then we've got Fred Dibner, interdimensional or otherworldly or alternate universe Fred Dibner, which I did the other day, which most people have seen. And again, he's kind of like almost like a sort of Ghostbuster. He goes around basically just sucking up these entities or trying to like spray them and just put them back into their own dimension. Then we've got this other one that turned out quite well. So this is like an inventor type character who's again sort of, I don't want to say killing. I think it's more like just basically spraying them back into their own dimension. I think this is the idea. And James, this is my favourite part. Oh, excellent. Cheers, matey. It's nice really going over the drawing because you forget, you see. Not forget, but you know, you kind of do it and then you move on and you're going like, oh, actually, that was pretty good. Because sometimes I get like very hypercritical when I'm doing it and you think, I didn't like how that hand turned out, and it's really annoying. Then we've got these characters here. If you join me on Instagram, I've been posting some of these on there, just like shorts with some music and things like that, and you know, getting a few likes. Yeah, Mrs. Miggins, but she's got kind of strange. She's getting closer and closer to the screen now. These strange tentacles. So these are kind of like interdimensional creatures that have kind of like found their way into London life and then somehow trying to blend in, but not quite. We've got this guy here, again, sort of quite ghoulish, quite like how his hand turned out there. And then we've got this other dude. strange. I don't know what it did start. It was going to start off like looking like one of the prawns. You remember the prawns from District 9, but then it kind of morphed into something else. Smoking a pipe. Someone's saying, James said, I don't have Instagram either, and I'm 30. Yeah. I mean, I am on Instagram. I've only just sort of started it up, but YouTube's pretty good though, because you get YouTube Shorts as well. This is kind of what started it anyway, with the Dickensian sort of theme. This character, it looks like it could be like a factory owner, something like that, but those hands are very sketchy. So that says to me that he's a bit of a shady dude and maybe not entirely human. So this is kind of like what sparked it. And then I went on to do this other character. So again, this is almost like Ghostbusters kind of character. It's like a plumbing service, but for sucking entities out of people's homes. And he's got this kind of like backpack type thing going on there. A bit like the other ones I was showing earlier. And then this is just some other stuff, sci-fi stuff. I was doing these sketches. It kind of came. I quite like the hands on these, but it sort of came out a bit like a Halo. But I quite like the contrast of the this kind of warrior. It was very kind of been in battles, but there's this delicate bird just resting on his hand, and I like that kind of contrast of. Just very fragile bird and this kind of tough warrior. Thanks, Little Rick. Thanks for the comments again. And then this is like more like Warhammer. I didn't mean it to be. I did a stream where someone said, "Oh, that's like Warhammer." It's like, yeah, actually it is, yeah. But this is one of the early streams I did. But I quite liked how this character came out. And let's go backwards. I'll try not to go through all of it, but because I want to try and finish this drawing for you. But this one I loved. I almost gave up on this one. It was this kind of like, I couldn't quite get it right. It was this kind of, it was based on a sketch I did in my other sketchbook. This girl who's kind of like traveling across some strange land, and she's riding this kind of mythical creature. And I almost gave up. I was going to rub the whole thing out. I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And I worked into it, and it ended up being like one of my most, one of my personal favorites. I loved the face on this creature, and I loved how the watercolor came out and the blue sky. I don't know. I want to do a little bit more like this. I really loved how it turned out, and all the inking and all that. A little bit heavy with the inking around on the girl, but I thought she turned out really well as well. So this is definitely one of my personal favorites. And then we've got a knight killing the undead. These kind of horrible kind of zombie type things, all crumbling and crusty, and then he's just skewering one of them there. Would have liked to have, I may still ink it, I don't know. I've not, sorry, watercolor it. Cyborg guy, again, a couple of different views. I think he turned out quite well. This is actually a little demo I did at the uni, and then I reworked it in my sketchbook. Kind of inspired by a little bit by Aliens. This kind of female, warrior type, but again, quite like. I kind of preferred her. I think like how she turned out. Mystical character wandering through the desert. Could be Rasputin, or it could be just some mystic wandering around. Cyberpunk character with some device that you can see there. And unfortunately he's got two, well, you could say fortunately or unfortunately, he's got two robot arms. And fingers are getting dry. That was a tribute to Mobius, a French artist who died, oh goodness, well over about 15 years ago. Amazing artist. He was a huge influence on my life growing up. My brother got this book when I was around about 8 or 9. I'd never seen anything like it. French comic book artist. And it went on to influence me for the rest of my life. So there's a little borrowing I did from one of his comics. Go check him out. This was Werewolves in Vietnam. Partly it was a homage to I actually did a bit of work. There's a guy, and again, Paul, forgive me if you're watching this video in the future. A colleague of mine, Paul, from it's when I was teaching at Confetti in Nottingham. He did a crowdfund of a board game, and it was called Full Moon Jacket. You can go and find it online. Amazing guy, and he got me to do some of a lot of the artwork for the board game, some character designs for promotion, things like that. So this is just like a harking back to that. So imagine like Dog Soldiers mixed with Apocalypse Now, and that is Full Moon Jacket. I'm missing these comments here. I'll have to forgive me. I'll have to have a read in a minute. Strange, beautiful warrior woman from sci-fi fantasy. Again, hero turns up to try and save the Citadel. Strange Cthulhu monster there hovering in the background. Let me just read some of the comments because I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring you. Right, okay, I'll have to scroll back a bit. Right, I'll just hover that there for a second. Lord of the Rings inspired illustration there. Callum said hi. Hi, Callum again. Little Rick, wow. Thank you, Little Rick. I think you're saying hi to each other, aren't you? James, the contrast of the blue and the yellow, orange is fantastic. I think you're talking about a previous one. Thank you, James. Imagine, I think you're talking amongst each other, aren't you? Callum, you are the best. Oh, that's very kind. That's very sweet, Callum. Thank you so much, matey. I really appreciate that. These are the best drawings I've ever seen. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, bless you, matey. That's very, very kind. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Such a lovely comment. Thank you. This is so good with the shading. You must have been commenting on another one from earlier. Thank you very much. Paul, yes, Paul Allen. Thank you, Paul Allen. He won't forgive me now. He goes, how could you forget my last name? I looked it up the other day when we were talking about it. Yeah, Paul, brilliant, diamond bloke, absolutely diamond geezer. I've lost touch with him. I think we might be on Facebook together, but Paul, if you're out there, I love you, man. Callum, the contrast is so good. Thank you so much. Little Rick, wow, again, thank you, Little Rick. James, this drawing reminds me of the fountain, Aronofsky. I've not seen that. Is that Darren Aronofsky? I've not seen that. I remember seeing, he did Noah, didn't he? And also he did, Aronofsky, he did the Tetsuo, didn't he? I remember that film. Tetsuo, oh no, that was Japanese. What did Aronofsky do? Pi. It was Pi, that was it, yeah. But yeah, wonderful. Yeah, definitely worth. I'll check it out. Did we reach a conclusion? Was it Little Rick who asked me that about Friday the 13th? I don't think that was resolved, was it? Callum, I have to leave now, but I'm subscribed, so I'll be back. I'll miss you. I'll miss you too, Callum. Thank you for the beautiful comments. Lovely man. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, Friday the 13th. I'll have to have a look at that, but I'll see if we can find it. Then we've got this here. This is a kind of like wild scene of the, I don't know, hero character with these tentacles kind of coming up his arms, and his, I guess, his colleagues just looking on in terror. I was quite pleased with that. I liked his arms. I think the arms. You see, that's the kind of. I like it when I do that kind of cross-hatching, because it's not too in your face. I think I sometimes go a bit overboard. This one turned out quite well. It's just hit and miss sometimes. This is a sci-fi scene, someone doing maintenance on some space station, but I like all the detail. This is my tribute to like Mobius, because he does all this kind of stuff. Like there's all these wires and nodes and things like that, and there's a little kind of screen there, I think you can see there, monitor, and pipes and whatever. Got these two warrior characters here. Well, I guess, what would you say? Sci-fi, fantasy, something like that. About to go into battle, who knows? But I quite liked how these turned out. Again, I like the line work on that. Yeah, it's kind of, some of it is just like, you just don't know how it's going to turn out. This was another one. of these tribesmen. It could be like South America, and this thing is just coming out of the sea. You don't know what it is. It's some kind of strange sea creature, giant, Nephilim, call it what you will. And they're just looking on. Absolutely, this guy is like, what? He's absolutely terrified, and they are wondering what to do. Shall we run? Shall we skewer it? Who knows? There's another little sci-fi scene there. And then these ones I quite like. So these like two drunk guys in a bar. I don't know where it is, and he's spilling his drink. He just thinks it's like, you know, funny. And this other guy's like, you know, whatever, recalling some tale about something or other, or something that aggravated him. I quite liked his hand. His hand turned out really well. Again, there's sometimes like features that I really like and sort of just turn out really well. Got some more comments. Well, I should just hold on that. Bear with me a second, because I don't want to miss you out. Bye, Callum. Little Rick. Yeah, Friday the 13th. Yeah, it looks like I'm just going to have to get it on Steam or something. I could play it on my laptop because it's a gaming laptop. Love from Little Rick. Kit Kat, sometimes less is more. Absolutely, less. You're bang on the money. Sometimes less is more. And it's just finding that kind of happy medium. Yeah, he loves, Little Rick loves Friday the 13th. Oh, the original and remake, yeah, because the original was from the 80s, I remember. Original, oh, the original, good, yeah, excellent. Okay, so this guy I quite liked. So I really enjoy doing these. This guy I like. He ended up looking like Daryl from The Walking Dead somehow. I didn't mean for it to kind of happen, but I quite liked his face. He looked a bit kind of weary, a little bit kind of, don't know, just tired of the world. And he's got his kind of like, you know, survival horror, I guess, body armor jacket thing on, whatever, with all his supplies, his beef jerky, and probably like, what is it? He'll have his, you know, his bug out bag. So he'll have all of his, you know, water purification tablets and jerky and all kinds of medications. And then what else have we got? These two characters. I don't know what was going on there. It's kind of like, you know, a little mini-me type character with a little ghoul. Again, I don't know where that came from. Sometimes I look at stuff online and I think, oh, that would be, you know, and then so I'll develop it, whatever. It'll stay with imagination. This is a strange one, a bit like a fever dream. It was this woman who was going to be like lying in a desert, but then she ended up looking pregnant, and then she's kind of floating. So I don't quite know what was going on there. Sometimes you just don't know how it turned out, but I quite liked her face. She's got the kind of almost like pre-Raphaelite kind of faces, you know, they were quite sort of voluptuous, but, you know, really beautiful looking women. This guy just been out, chopping something down. Quite liked how she turned out. She was pretty cool. And it's almost like I was going to make it into like a kind of film poster. It didn't quite turn out that way. There's another like kind of troll type character. I really liked his feet. They turned out really well. His hands are all right as well, but yeah, and his face, he just looks potentially friendly, but then he could eat you, couldn't he? Little Gandalf type character, couldn't resist. Going on there. Sort of ghoul. Quite liked his hand, how his hand turned out. He was quite cool. Yeah, in some sort of swampland. And some more kind of sci-fi stuff. He looked a bit like RoboCop without his mask on. Again, just not intentional, but... And a little character there. And robot, servant. And this guy, maybe they're on like some like, you know, old asteroid and he's doing tests or something or other. Some other little sketches there. Some guy swinging an axe into someone. And some other little creatures there. So again, this is just more like free form. This guy, warrior guy there. And some more stuff. So again, no real ideas, just sketching. This one I quite liked. It's supposed to be like sort of soldier. Again, I like the hand on that. Climbing up some cliff face. I passed some climbers the other day. You may, if you're familiar with Matlock, there's a place called High Tor, and we get lots of rock climbers. and I walked by. It's the first of the season, and they were like climbing up the cliff face. You'd never find me doing that. It's just, it makes my legs feel funny, even just thinking about it. Some other characters. I quite like this guy, how he turned out. I ended up like dropping a splodge of ink on there though, which was annoying. I finished and it went. So there we are. But he's got some kind of chopping thing, whatever. And this was, I think, I was using a bit of like war. It was like a war photo reference somewhere in Japan, I think it was. This character, this is one of my favourites. I said this in a video the other day. I really loved how this one turned out, this Kung Fu character. The inking, everything. Just the pose, the little sash at the back, and even the little island thing he's standing on. I really liked it. If like I said this in a previous video, if every single sketch I did turned out like that, I'd be very, very happy. So sometimes it's potluck. Strange gecko monster creature, and Blade Runner character who's got male pattern baldness, but I thought it looked quite cool. He's got his little. I'm a big Blade Runner fan, so I quite liked how that turned out. This was, I don't know, this was supposed to be originally Klaus Kinski, and then it just turned into this guy just looking wistfully out into the distance, and there's like a desert, and there's like a ship in a harbour. These are some sketches. I was sketching from the TV with these. I was watching the old, now Little Rick, if you're still watching, the old TV series of, you asked, I think you might have asked what my favourite horror was, Salem's Lot, the original TV, well, the original, it was a TV series. Scary as hell. And there was a woman on the phone from the she's having an affair with an estate agent, and that was a little sketch of her. But if you haven't seen it, watch it. Scary as hell. And then some other sketches there. He looked a bit like Malcolm McDowell. Space creature. Quite like this guy's face. He turned out quite well. Oops, I'm going a bit blurred. There we go. And these dudes looked all right. So look, comments. Original. More wizards. Yeah, the original Blade Runners. Yeah, the new one they made was pretty good. The new one was all right. I thought I thought it was all right, but it wasn't like the original. Nothing's like the original. Everything. And also, I don't understand, because Vangelis was still around. I don't understand. And of course, Hans Zimmer's an amazing composer, but the big star of Blade Runner is the music. And anyway, but yeah, this is still one of my favorites. This is a kind of bar scene from possibly some moon off Jupiter, where they've been mining for like rare minerals, and they've finished the shift and they're having a drink in the bar, and it's all a bit hustle and bustle. There's smoke. It's all a bit grimy. Lots of blokes. So it's all a bit kind of like, you know, not particularly clean. And then you've got these robots just serving drinks, and they're just getting hammered as they go along, and then starting the next shift, whether it's going to be 5 o'clock their time, that kind of thing. And I've got a bunch of other drawings, but they're mainly that sort of sketches. I could show that one actually. Yeah, that was a troll. I quite liked how he turned out. A little troll. And I liked his hand. Again, I like the hands on that, and the face as well. And this guy was strange. It looks like he's dying or just waking up, and there's a strange like alien creature. Anyway. I do enjoy going through retrospectively, but I want to try and finish this illustration that we've been doing. So let's get back to it, folks. And let's try and finish this. So, finish him. Right. Let's have a look. Comments. James, I sense the purist being a little unhappy. Yes. Compared to other sequels done many years after the original, I thought it didn't stack up. No, it's far from a bad film. And is it Denis Villeneuve, the director? Solid director. He did all that. He did that thing with Emily Blunt, didn't he? What was it called? I forget the name of it now. My brain's gone. I'm tired. But she was brilliant in it, and it was all about cartels in Mexico. Brilliant film, but you know he's a solid director, and he did Rivals as well, didn't he? With the alien thing. Sicario, thank you, James. Yeah, Sicario. But yeah, you know, no, it's good. I liked. I think where it lost me a little bit with Blade Runner 2049 is when he ends up in the wilderness, and they come across I forget the actor's name, the black actor's name. He's a really good actor. He was in The Walking Dead actually, and also he might have been in Snatch or something like that, and I forget his name. But he's playing this, like, you know, this guy's running this kind of like factory with these kids, and I thought, ooh, it almost I wasn't sure, but it's still solid. I still go back and watch it, so it's not like I'm being massively critical. I'll still go back and watch it. The music was really good. That kind of, you know, the Hans Zimmer stuff. I thought that was brilliant. But yeah, but Blade Runner, as always, I am a bit of a purist. I love everything about Blade Runner. Like the making of, all the behind the scenes stuff. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Right. Right. Let's have a look. Something like that. Well, not bad. They all turned out relatively well at the end of the day, because you never know how they're going to turn out. But some lovely comments this evening, beautiful comments, some great conversation, and always happy when I'm doing drawing, and then having some company along the way is always a lovely thing as well, and having lovely comments. So I absolutely appreciate it, and appreciate you all for returning as well. James, Little Rick. Right. Let's see if we can just put like a shirt or something. Hopefully you can see that. I'm not going out of view, am I? Let me go and zoom in a bit, just so you can see it a bit more. A bit of that detail. Oh goodness, look at the time. Look at the time. But I guess it's pretty good because there's no work tomorrow. So, well, at least for me. Sorry if there's work for you, but the weekend starts here, so I don't mind working a little bit later. Right, then that. James, oh, Little Rick, love it. Oh no, I'm missing some of the chat. Sorry. 1 second. Sorry, missing the chats. Lenny James. Is he the guy Does he play the bad guy in it? I can't remember now. Little, is that you, James? Dave Bautista's role was hyped up. He was in it for less than 5 minutes. That's true. He was good though, Dave Bautista. That scene as well was supposed to be in the original film, where it was supposed to be boiling soup, and that was originally going to be the opening scene for Blade Runner, and then the Hampton Fancher, I think, shelved it, or David Peoples, who did some of the co-writing. Little Rick, love it. Thank you, Little Rick. James, I'm sure I speak on behalf of all when I say we appreciate you doing the streams, mate. Well, I appreciate you being here as well, James. It's lovely people and lovely conversation. Lenny James is the name of the actor who played the character in The Walking. Yes, Walking. Oh, the black guy. Yes, and Snatch. He was also in Line of Duty. He is a really good actor. He also did this. It's worth checking out. I don't think it had a cinema release. A Guy Pearce film. And it was called Lock Up or Lockdown, and it's all set on a space station. I think it was produced by. Who's the French director who did Fifth Element? Oh God, my brain's gone because I'm tired. I know his name. I'm just tired. No, I'm not going to remember. He did Leon and all that, whatever. It was produced by him, and it's got Guy Pearce in it, and that Lenny James plays the. He plays like a cop in it. He's not in it a lot, but it's just a really well done film. I think it's called Lock Up or Lockdown, set on a space station and where there's a prison break, and it's got that guy. I don't know if you remember that guy, the Shane Meadows film with the about the skinheads, and they had. He was one of the main actors, and he went on to Emmerdale. Northern actor, but in the film he plays this like Scottish guy, and he's really good. He's really good. Yeah, Lockdown, Lock Up. Maybe you can have a look online. Lockdown, Lock Up. But actually a pretty decent film. Lou Besson, thank you, James. Woody. Is it Woody? Yeah, Woody. Thanks, Kit Kats. Yeah, Woody. Again, brilliant actor, but in that movie, he's like a sort of like Begbie character. You remember like Begbie from Trainspotting? He's kind of like that. He's just like absolutely unhinged, but brilliant, and just he kind of steals the show. Absolutely fantastic. Something like that. I think we might be approaching the end. I think this is the end. Yeah, it's probably going to be a bit late to be like inking, not inking. I keep saying inking, watercoloring things now. I might have a go at doing it at a later date, maybe tomorrow morning or later on. I think I'm just going to chill out now, and watch a film or something. So we're beginning the wind down now, folks. So we've got the character that I started. This was about 5 in the morning. I was having several cups of coffee before going to work, and did this. And I thought, wow, that looks quite nice. I thought, I'm going to do a series. So then what I did was, I think I started sketching it, but then on my lunch break at work, I started penciling them in. And I thought, I'll do a series of heads. So I think they turned out quite well. This guy, he's probably like one of my favorites. He just looks like a bruiser. East End, like an East End pub, possibly like bare knuckle fighter. You definitely wouldn't want to mess with him. Perhaps you can give him a name. I don't know what his name was. It's a bit like, was it not Freddie? Is it? Oh God, not Freddie. What's his name? Absolute geezer who Lenny. That's it, Lenny McLean. He's got a bit of a Lenny McLean kind of vibe. He was in Lock, Stock, wasn't he? I remember Lenny McLean. Then we got this character who's reflecting on his life. Maybe he has been sentenced. Who knows? It could be being sentenced, or he's actually had a reprieve and he's just looking up to the heavens and going like, I can't believe that just happened. Who knows? But those will be the drawings for tonight, folks. So the plan is, I've got a few things on tomorrow, but I'm aiming to do another stream tomorrow evening, maybe a little bit earlier. We'll see how we go, possibly roughly at the same time. So it could be around about sort of 6-ish, 7-ish. We'll see how it goes. I'll have to work up another concept of what I'm going to draw. I might do it fresh, or I might pencil it in and then ink over the top. If I pencil it in, then I might have time to do a bit of watercolouring. So we'll see. Anyway, This Is England was great and serious. Oh, Kit Kats. Absolutely, This Is England was great. The film was brilliant. Shane Meadows, of course, he's of course, as you may or may not know, of course, he did Dead Man's Shoes, which was filmed around here near where I live. It was filmed on the Hers Farm Estate and around Matlock, and of course Ryber. I actually, well, that's a story for another time. There was like an interesting experience I had because Gary Stretch, you may or may not be familiar with, he was on that film, and weirdly, he was also on a film that I was working on at the same time. I didn't see him actually on when they were filming it, but I saw him in the scene afterwards, and I'll tell you more about that story. It's not really a story, but it's just more like incidental, but yeah. But brilliant director. If you have a chance, watch A Room for Romeo Brass. Paddy Constantine, I think it's Constantine. He is scary as hell. It gives me goosebumps even just talking about it, because in the film he plays like, it's kind of like, is a bit, how can I put it? He's special in the film, but there's a 360 or 180 that he does, and it's scary as hell. It's definitely worth watching. A Room for Romeo Brass. He did, what else did he do? Did he do 24/7? I think that was his breakthrough film. But yeah, he's fairly, he's Nottingham, so he's East Midlands lad. Can you say definitely be back? Oh, excellent! Thanks, Kit Kats. It'll be good to see you again. Can we say hi to Fizz before we end the stream, please? She's chewing a bone at the moment. I can maybe say hi. Wizards are Ace, Kit Kats, Dead Man's Shoes, great movie, absolutely. She's on the. Let's see if I can. There we go. Let you into my little world. I'll show you a picture of Fizz. Hold on a second. There we are. How's that? Looking bemused, having a chew, aren't you, Fizz? Well, everyone's saying hi to you, Fizz. But I'm not sure she's aware that anyone's saying hi back. So, Fizz is saying hi, aren't you, Fizz? You're saying hi, aren't you? You're saying hi to everyone. Yes. Yes. There we go. Excellent. Well, James says, hello, Fizz. Excellent. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you all tomorrow. And Kit Kats as well. And Little Rick and James and anyone else who cares to watch. If you did like this content, by the way, please feel free to like and subscribe. And I shall see you in the next video, folks. Okay, take care. Have a nice evening. Bye for now. Cheers, James. Take care, matey. Have a nice evening.